Hey, Shalom Akim. First, foremost, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Racha Kudash, double honors under the elders Apostle Millstone, the elders Millstone, and of course, peace and blessings under the hopeful elect. This is here, servant say Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, servant Meshut and sincerity. Yes, on the brother Chayava from Z-Man's Plaintables camp. Come back with another lesson to spirit. Yes, so this lesson be based off of, it says, so this from nationalnews.com, which is entitled, it says, UK police consider AI predictive policing, sparking fears of a surveillance state. And they, as we know, Esau Edom, NBC Esau ruling, starting, of course, with the elite international banking families. Of course, on down to these Edomite nations. What we see Esau's ruling and ultimately they want to achieve the NWO, of course, Esau being the so-called white man. The earth has been given into his hands. You go into Job chapter 9 and 24. The world has, ultimately, the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked, which was one of the blessings that Esau was given, stemming back from Genesis chapter 27, when Isaac blessed Esau, with, of course, the dew of heaven, the fatness of the earth, meaning the abundance of resources, of course, upon the planet Earth. You see the oil, the gold, and all these natural resources that Esau has control over, and ultimately what that he has within his possession, as well as the blessing of the sword, meaning that he was blessed with the sword, and that modern day sword, as we can see today, because again, the blessing of Esau extends even onto today, which of course is, we're at the very end of it, but as we can see, Esau has been given that sword as a blessing, which a modern day sword, of course, is a military. So Esau is able to go throughout all these different nations and or basically, able to take them over with his military by his might, and drain them, of course, of the resources. We see an example of how Trump was able to do that with Venezuela. Now his next target is Greenland. Let's check down the news Trump's easing up for Greenland threats, but hey, you can see again, Esau, he's able to again, rule with the sword. Basically saying, I'm going to take over this nation or take over that nation, and that's what he's been doing. So going back to the article, it says UK police are testing AI to predict crimes by monitoring citizens. It says this shifts policing from responding to crimes to treating everyone as potential suspect. It says accountability vanishes as algorithms make unchallengeable decisions based on biased data. The end goal is a total loss of public anonymity through permanent surveillance. Once built, the surveillance framework can easily expand beyond targeting violent crime. And we know, again, Esau, this kind of AI is already serving a big part within the system, but AI is going to be a very big thing within this NWO that's quickly approaching. And of course, we know the movie Minority Report going into the pre-crime system. Let's go ahead and look that up. It says pre-crime is the idea that the occurrence of a crime can be anticipated before it happens. The term was coined by science fiction author Philip K. Dick, and it says, and is increasingly used in academic literature to describe and criticize the tendency in criminal justice systems to focus on crimes not yet committed. Precrime intervenes to punish, disrupt, incapacitate, or restrict those deemed to embody future crime threats. So, hey, again, this is Esau putting himself as if he's the Most High. But again, using AI as basically what that left-hand angel, as a left-hand angel. Again, to quote-unquote prophesy unto him what was about to happen. So what Esau is using AI, right here, what predictive policing, which is basically them telling the future, that's how confident Esau is within his AI system. So to read it, so let's see. It says so going back to the article, it says a quiet revolution is underway in British policing, one that aims to use artificial intelligence to monitor citizens and predict crime before they happen. And again, we know 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11, it says, at least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Yeah, but AI, of course, has a lot of uses. It makes things easier, makes things faster, makes things more efficient. But we know the ulterior motives behind it. Esau is not just pushing out AI so everybody can become more efficient within the work. We know, of course, these kind of companies are massively benefiting from AI. Again, things are more efficient, cheaper, of course, able to be done quicker. But the main use Esau is going to use AI for, of course, is within his system. Again, with the more people that use AI, the more that data is collected. The more information that they have on people. And again, the more that adds onto the system that Esau's creating, which is ultimately the NWO. Esau knowing everything about you. Even being confident enough to make a pre-crime system. So read against the 2 Corinthians chapter 2 and 11. At least Satan should give an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So devices going into the Greek meaning noema. It says an evil purpose. Yeah, so exactly, an evil purpose. What's the whole purpose behind AI? What the true ulterior motive is, again, Esau doesn't do, it's nothing that Esau does that just 100% benefits the people. And, what, ultimately nothing that Esau does is selfless. It always benefits him. Yeah, might benefit basically, others who aren't on his team, and maybe by a fraction. But, of course, in the majority of it, and of course, in the grand scheme of all things, what it benefits him mostly. So in the article, going back, it says, in a move straight out of science fiction, UK police are evaluating up to 100 AI projects, including predictive analytics, designed to target individuals deemed likely to commit offenses. Home Secretary Shaban, Mahmoud, frames this as putting the eyes of the state on criminals at all times. But critics warn this represents a fundamental shift from policing consent, or like it says, from policing by consent to policing by omnipresent surveillance, treating every citizen as a potential suspect. Yeah, we know that movie. You can look up Minority Report. That's basically what the movie was based on. So it says in the 2002 film Minority Report, it says Precrime is an elite law enforcement agency in Washington, D.C. that prevents murders by apprehending individuals before they can act. So, hey, literally, if you want an idea of how the pre-crime system looks, go ahead and watch that movie, Minority Report. And this was going back onto 2002. So, you can imagine. So, if this goes all the way back to 2002, then hey, we can already see that it's been being planned for a very long time. And hey, at this point, we're here. So it says accountability vanishes into the algorithm. So it says a further critical danger lies in the evaporation of accountability. When policing decisions are driven by algorithms, responsibility diffuses. Decisions that once belonged to, identifiable officers will be attributed to the system or the program, Burch explains. When inevitable mistakes occur, there's no human judgment to easily interrogate. An algorithm cannot be cross-examined in court or held responsible for its errors, leaving citizens in a legal limbo facing an unchallengeable digital process. But again, Esau we can see he has great confidence within his AI, within his computers, within these quantum computers. Again, this is his power, of course, on the left-hand side. Well, Elon Musk literally said that they, summon demons to basically, gather the power from AI. And he said that himself. So it says the claim of algorithmic objectivity is also a myth. These AI systems do not discover truth. They process historical policing data. This means they will inevitably solidify past errors and biases, enforcing them with a veneer of mathematical certainty. Historical mistakes and policing patterns thus become entrenched as future risk indicators, perpetuating and automating discrimination. So it says this technological shift did not emerge in a vacuum. In the United States, the adoption of AI in policing has rapidly advanced, offering cautionary preview. Tools now exist that fuse data from license plate readers, social media monitoring, gunshot detectors, and facial recognition into single platforms. These systems promise real-time crime alerts and threat identification, but have been criticized for amplifying bias and enabling indiscriminate surveillance. So, hey, we know where this is leading to. And really that's what AI is. Again, it's artificial intelligence. It might seem like it's true. It might seem like the intelligence it's giving you is organic and real, but really, again, it's artificial, trained on loads of data, and basically compressed into one answer. You ask it a question, it does a mass search, and then singles down the search, the sources, the data, and then creates an answer based on what's likely to be said, that's true. So you can go into more how AI works, but that's a high level explanation on it. Ultimately AI literally predicts what's likely to be said as is given the answer based on the data that it's trained on. But their AI is very, very good at looking at making its answers seem natural and human, but at the end of the day, it's still not. Now, again, at the end of the day, we still know there are spirits working with AI. as the other Apostle Dahar said, well, you got left hand spirits and you got right hand spirits. You just gotta use it. You just gotta use it correctly, of course. But at the end of the day, it's still Esau's creation. Again, we know Yahweh Shai gave him this technology, but again, it's still built off of deception. You just gotta, you just gotta use it correctly. But we know the end all be all with, this, of course, this technology. It says, Revelation chapter 13 and 15. And it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. So we know the beast is the EU and the NATO. And we already know, of course, the UK is a part of NATO. So they're already, considering this AI predictive policing, which obviously is going to be a big part of this NWO. And we know the image of the beast is the NWO. That's a new system that they're bringing. It says, Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. Yeah, so if you don't bow on this NWO, then they're going to seek to push you to death. First, it's going to, they're going to cast you out of society. That's a form of death. They're going to X you out of, the system. You won't be a part of it. And then literally they're going to seek to bound those up physically to put them to death, under, of course, the guillotine or by whatever means. Esau's going to come with his torturing, his temptations. But ultimately, we understand how Yahweh Shai will protect his elect. Revelation chapter 3 and 10. The Lord's going to keep his elect from our temptation, the ones who keep the word of his patience. It says, verse 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or on their foreheads. And we know that mark, again, it's a physical mark. You get to the Greek word ekragma, meaning what? A scratch or etching, a physical stamp, a badge of servitude. So what? A badge of servitude onto that new system. If you bow down to that image, that NWO, then that's you showing service onto the system, and that's you showing your allegiance onto Esau. So, very, very soon, everybody's going to be met with a choice. Of course, concerning our people, the Israelites, each Israelite's going to be met with the choice. You either bow down unto Yahweh Bashim Shai, which is Heavenly Father's name being Yahweh according to ancient Paleo Hebrew, and his son's name being Yahweh Shai, of course, according to ancient Paleo Hebrew. Right now, of course, the prophets are prophesying. Of course, us men in Great Millstone, we're prophesying what's about to come. Yahweh Bashim Shai upon the spirit upon his prophets to prophesy. Again, and to deliver the message. What Esau is coming with, and what we need to do as Israelites, of course, in order to be on the good side of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Because again, each Israelite can be met with a choice, either to serve to bow down onto Yahweh Bashim Shai or to bow down onto Esau. There's no in between. There's no middle. You either go on one side or you go on the other. And the majority of Israel is going to bow down onto Esau. We know that, of course, because you can get Zechariah, where it goes into how there's going to be a 1/3 that the Lord saves, of course, within America of Israelites, and there's going to be 2/3 of the nation of Israel who are destroyed within America. So 1/3 of Israelites will be delivered, of course, from the land of Babylon, from this land, and then 2/3 of Israelites within America will be destroyed. So we know that majority of Israelites will bow down onto that system. So it says to receive a mark in the right hand on their forehead. So that mark, of course, is the C-hip, the implant the electronic implant that they want to put in everybody. You go ahead and look it up. This right here is what it is. As small as a grain of rice, as you can see in this x-ray. So they want everybody to be C-hipped. And this is what it is. You can see this photo. Yeah, 666, mark of the beast. It says, do not take that micro C-hip implant. It says the Bible predicted this 2,000 years ago. And hey, yeah, this has already been prophesied. So, but the warning is out there. What Aaron Russo goes into, the elder Apostle Gabar brings that out. You can see. Yeah, Aaron Russo goes into it. So, hey, obviously, literally scriptures reveal this. But, you have certain insiders that reveal it. And ultimately, what the important thing is that Yahweh Bashim Yashah put the Spirit upon his prophets to bring it out. So, that's our Lord has made it known what it is. That right there is a confirmation. So it said, Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might bar himself, except he that had a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So again, it's going to be complete lockdown system. If you don't take that MOTB, then you won't be a part of it. And within that NWO, again, it's going to be complete control. Esau with his AI, Esau's moving with his 6G to create, even tighter grid. So for those who take this mark, a Neuralink, again, it's going to be either in the right hand or the forehead, meaning it's going to be a C-hip within the hand or within a forehead. Ultimately, it doesn't matter where you take it. If you take it anywhere within your body, then you're going to receive the judgment that's written for those who take it, which is what destruction. For those who take it within America, you're going to receive destruction. Within of course that nuclear destruction that Babylon the Great will, of course, that's going to hit Babylon the Great, which is America. So it says, here's wisdom. Oh yeah, so ultimately what? Again, so it's going to be complete ultimate control. And we know, within our Neuralink, when you go into the studies, the monkeys and basically, again, these test subjects that Elon Musk, which is mainly, I guess, animals, as they say, but literally, when you go into it, they're able to influence the monkey's actions. They're able to monitor what the monkey's thinking, his brain activity, make him play video games and do this and that. Again, literally control it. Go into the studies yourself, and you'll see these different experiments. It says, verse 17 of Revelation chapter 13, and that no man might bar himself, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Exactly. So if you don't have the mark, you won't be able to bar yourself within society. So that's going to be a great temptation. That right there is our temptation. When Esau mandates that mark, you won't be able to bar yourself without it. So it says, verse 18, here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which amounts, of course, onto 666. And that's the number that, of course, Esau loves to use. You see it within all these different company logos. You see it hidden within these movies. Again, you see everywhere. You might see it within a different language. For example, we know the sixth Hebrew letter of the Hebrew alphabet is the Hebrew letter Wa. And within a lot of these company logos, you'll see that letter, 3 of them within these company logos. Again, that Hebrew letter Wa being the 6th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. And literally you'll see those letters 3 times, within a lot of company logos. Or of course, such as a Disney logo, you'll see, 6 is hidden within it if you look closely enough. So again, this is a number that Esau loves to use. You'll see it within the barcode language. Again, this is the number of the beast. Beast again being the EU and the NATO. So yeah, I believe it's the point. Point is that Esau is moving quickly. He knows that he hath but a short time, and AI is quickly speeding up the advancement, of course, of the system that Esau is bringing. So what the time is short, Yahweh Bashem Yashai is shortening days for the elect's sake. And again, putting more pressure on Esau to move even quicker. That's why, again, he knoweth that he hath but a short time, as Revelation chapter 12 and 12 goes into. So, of course, the word of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, that, we have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Because as scriptures say, Isaiah 33 and 6, wisdom, knowledge shall be the stability of that times. Let's go ahead and end it off right there. This is Isaiah 33 and 6. It says, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure. NIV, it says, he will be the sure foundation of your times, a rich store of salvation and wisdom and knowledge. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the key to this treasure. Yeah, so fear of the Lord is, as we know, the fear of the Lord is a beginning of wisdom. To obtain wisdom, you have to fear the Lord Yahweh Shai first and foremost. So ultimately, what Yahweh Shai is our sure foundation, which what Yahweh Shai represents, of course, again, as the scriptures say, what Yahweh Shai is the way and the truth. So in order to gain wisdom, knowledge, and ultimately salvation, that's through Yahweh Shai. You can't get it any other way. Yeah, of course, what Yahweh Shai is that door. Yahweh Shai is the way. And we know, again, Yahweh Bashem Yashai will protect his elect from the iron temptation. Revelation chapter 3 and 10 goes into. So I believe it's a point. Lord, so you brothers out there edified. Yahweh Bashem Yashai, Bashem Kakurash Brakatham. Shalom.